Welcome to the Captain's Clash. Welcome to game number 1. We have a group stage right now, everybody. So currently we have 6 teams that are split in 2 groups at the Captain's Clash. This is a tournament that's hosted on the North American server. We had a captain's draft to determine the teams. There's already a little bit of mini drama going on, nothing too crazy. But as we're here in the round robin phase with the 2 groups, we have best of 3 matches that we're going through. And I'll obviously update you as we're going through the tournament when we hit the next phase and what the scores are like. But currently we have Team Madara against Team Kure, and the interesting part is Kure isn't here. The captain is not here. So again, this is a tournament hosted on the North American server. It is organized by the NA boys, and also the times are a little bit more to cater towards the NA players. I mean, we obviously have a couple of Europeans also playing cross-server here, but right now it should be roughly 9 o'clock in the morning where Kure is on a Saturday, and it seems like he's sound asleep, so they tried calling him and he doesn't respond to it. Apparently they texted his brother as well and didn't get a reaction there. Right now, Kure is just not here. So what the blue team had to do instead, or they would have run into a forfeit, is to find a sub that can play with them and hope that Kure then wakes up within the first map to join them, at least for map number 2, and therefore CPX is now actually part of the blue team. But not really the best start into the tournament for the blue team. So yeah, Team Kure, I think Kure will have to buy the next few rounds whenever they're meeting up for the next team meeting. So yeah, either way, bans are obviously ticking in. We have also, as our first map, Dragonshire, Blaze as a quick pick here on the side of Team Madara. And for the blue team, it's Rega and Hanzo. When it comes to the bans, we actually had a lot of really good maps banned out by the 2 teams out of the map pool. So Volskaya, interestingly enough, made it into the map pool, but has been banned here as none of those 2 teams wants to play it. Honestly, I only know one player that likes to play Volskaya, that's Ultralisk, because he has a pretty good win rate there. Everybody else, myself included, maybe hated is the wrong word here, but I prefer other maps, let's just put it like that. Alderac has been banned out as well, and one other that I can't put my finger on right now. Ah, Sky Temple, exactly, another one that also got the X. The only one that I would have loved to have as a potential map for the series that also got the ban hammer was actually Cursed Hollow, so yeah. Brightwing, talking about getting the axe, is also getting eliminated here. And, well, let's see what we're grabbing for the red team as the final ban. And it's Diablo. So no Lord of Terror on Dragonshire. We still have a couple of globals open, so you could still go Dehaka. You could also still go into Falstead if you're trying to play around globals. Genji still up, could be played here. With Blaze, Nuburak, and Junkrat, you already have some really nice CC that you can utilize on the side of Team Madara in order to tee things up for a burst damage dealer as well. We got Mirrodin, and there's the Haka. So, we got our global. A little bit easier to control the flow of the map and try to get control over both of the shrines. And yeah, over on the right side, we now got the final 2 picks for June and Ultralisk. A couple of familiar names, obviously. I mean, we have some players that play cross-server on the European side when we have a European tournament, but they are few and far between. So now that we are finding ourselves on NA again, you can expect some different meta and preference picks, but also some familiar names that might not want to play cross-server the entire time. Imperius and Stukov. Final 2 picks. We have a triple frontline right now with the Stukov follow-up. There's a lot of CC and then the lurking arm right behind it. So, yeah, not too shabby. And with our final pick for the sub-player on the blue team, what are we getting here? What is CPX going to play on Dragonshire? Again, he had to jump in because Kure apparently still asleep, and we need a little bit more damage for them. They already got their front line. And our final pick is Tracer. Dragonshire, everybody. Let's get the show started. First game between Team Kure, without Kure, and Team Madara. Game number 1, Team Kure on the left, ladies and gentlemen, with Brandon on Mirrodin. We have Valama on Rega, Fuzz on Hanzo, Bloodcool on Dehaka, and CPX is playing Tracer in the first game of the best of 3 series. To the right side of the mat, we got Team Madara with Madara himself on Junkrat, the captain. We have Ultralisk on Imperius, June is playing Stukov, Naz on Blaze, and Caesar Salad on a Nuburak. Alright, let's see what the team with a sub can pull off now. And also, let's see if somebody can wake up Kure in the meantime, because apparently he is still sound asleep. He definitely stayed awake last night to watch the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump. That's probably why he went to bed pretty late and why he isn't awake just yet. That's the only explanation that I can come up with. It's a Saturday too, so yeah, maybe he was out partying, who knows, but I can guarantee you that the blue team is definitely hoping that he's going to make it back into the game as quickly as possible. On level 1 for Nubarak, we got the Regeneration Master. We have also some sustain talents here on the side of Muradin, for example, who immediately went into Third Wind as his choice. Blaze actually moving down to the bottom of the map. Keep in mind, they run a triple front line currently and have Imperius too. I'm always an Imperius fan. I liked it when he was played as a main tank, but I really love these triple frontline setups too, where you have just an enormous amount of CC, and Imperius obviously also does a significant amount of damage when played correctly. Just in general, their CC here is pretty crazy. They have a lot. Essentially every single hero that they're running here has one form or another of CC, and it's still, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how exactly the other team is going to deal with it. I mean, obviously they got a cleanse, but well, even a panic button on level 10 with Raygun is ancestral, but it's always a little bit nasty when one of your players can essentially take the hand of the keyboard because he can't do anything anymore. Coordination will have to be on point, of course. There's a little bit of a problem in the sense that Ultralisk, for example, is obviously playing with the ping disadvantage. We're usually highlighting that a lot when we have the NA players play on the European server. In this case, the other side is true, the reversal is true, so this time it's Ultralisk actually that plays on the NA server as a European player and has to be a little bit more cautious with that. It's not the only one in the tournament here. Got a couple more also here on the side of the blue team, obviously. So, yep, keep that in mind when we're going through the matches and also through the entire tournament. But for now, level 4 talents are slowly kicking in. Teams obviously claiming some additional camps, already busy at the bottom of the map. So they're trying to go for an extra mercenary camp here, as the blue team is more interested in trying to sneak in a Dragonite. But since nobody is in the middle, that's going to be an easy recapture at the bottom shrine on the side of Team Madara. And they grab that quickly, which leaves Hanzo all alone to defend this right now. Always a little bit awkward. Blaze is left alone by Junkrat though, who rotates towards the middle for some extra XP here too. Just generally a small lead in experience now for the red team, and definitely the upper hand at the bot lane. It's going to be a bit dicey for Hanzo to handle on his own when there's consistent assistance from someone else on the Reds team for Blaze. And Nubarak also trying to double check what's happening here. If somebody is making a move down to the bottom of the map, for example, which this far at least has not happened. But it's just a typical ring around the rosy play where everybody is just trying to jump from one point to another to take control. Nobody wants to allow double control for the opponent to avert an early Dragonite, and in this case it's now Fuzz at the bot lane that took over. But he lost the entire wall here, so that's a little bit of a problem. Lost the wall. CPX is trying to poke as much as he can and avoids the lunge from Imperius, which is obviously fairly important here. That could have been a kill, but he is able to survive through it. Caesar Salad jumping in heavily, and there's the control change again between the top and the bottom shrine. Fairly straightforward, nothing crazy. 7 kicks in just a little bit sooner for the red team. Again, there's a small advantage for them. They were a little bit more diligent with the structures at the bottom they took out and the moves that they made here. Now we have on level 7 Purification. Okay, Purification for the move here. And yeah, the CC is already starting to kick in, but it's actually the red team that loses the first hero. That's first blood right there, as Tracer is getting a kill against Stukov. Muradin though eats the grenade. Ultralisk on Imperius goes down 2, and that's 2 kills against 1 in favor of the blue team as the dust settles. So yeah, nicely done. Well played here. Can they? Yeah, okay, so they took one of the shrines. And it was actually a really nice move from the blue team. Didn't really think that they would be able to get that done immediately, but with Stukov dying first, there was obviously no sustain for the red team that they had in that situation. Definitely made their life a lot harder. Now they're trying to... Oh, beautiful! Nice! That was a perfect dodge there. They were trying to pincer him with Blaze and Nubarak, and that didn't work. By the way, this is just wrong on so many levels, I don't even know what to say here. Like, you have a beetle on... This is just wrong. That poor crap there. So, I don't know. Are these guys having sex? Is that a transportation tool? Like, I don't even know anymore. Is that some interspecies? I mean, honestly, it might be too much information, so I'm not quite sure if I want to hear the answer to this. I'm just saying it looks very, very wrong when you look at it, and I have questions. Anyways, Blaze at the top, also taken out, and that's the first Dragonite here too. So while the blue team is going for the kill at the top, the red team was able to grab themselves a quick Dragonite, and that of course is going to destroy now even more structures. They were already doing some solid damage down at the bottom of the map, as I highlighted earlier, with the camp that they took, but now they're able to break through the middle wall and could potentially do a bit more. Problem for them is of course that Blaze was missing as he was killed at the top lane, but both teams now with level 10 abilities. Down at the bottom of the map though, oh, the arrow, short distance, trying to stop Ultralisk, and Fuzz is able to pull that off. Ultralisk has to retreat, and in the meantime, June, no! Ah, the jet propulsion! He gets the heal! He has the heal and gets out, and now Muradin is in trouble. Brandon, let's go Brandon! Nope, there's the avatar, and he survives. Top side, Tracer was able to get out, so yeah, CPX jumped away here. Got kicked by the Dragonite, as you could see on the minimap a second ago. So, kind of saved maybe even by the DK. I think they assumed that they could kick Tracer to death, which hasn't quite worked out. But some pretty interesting moves there. Big dive at the bottom of the map towards Stukov, who survived. And it nearly cost Muradin his life, certainly cost him the cooldown for Avatar. And then of course the kick up at the top, which was quite the next one, so yeah. It's an interesting one. Muradin also goes for Avatar, which these days is something that you actually have to highlight. There's way too many playmaker moves that we're seeing, and quite often they don't really pay out all that much, but time will tell. Again the camp at the bottom of the map, again the idea to pressure Hanzo, who dodges, Ultralisk with the lunge here, falls a bit short, so Fast is still in play. But he needs assistance here. He already lost the wall earlier. Now another camp is pushing through, and somebody definitely has to help him in order to defend that. And they're starting to just send all their forces down to the bottom. Nice. Once again, a kill attempt, and it's Junkrat who falls. Nicely done. Good arrow. Bit short distance and not a massively long stun, but he hits 4 people with it and just heats the rest of the team up for the engage. So that means that Stukov is now dead as well. And the kill count is starting to heavily swerve in favor of Team Kure, without Kure. 5 kills to 1. They defended the camp at the bottom. They are starting to take the lead in experience. And Team Madara, with a pretty top-notch lineup, is starting to struggle here a little bit too. They gotta be very, very careful, because now they are looking at a level 13 talent advantage on their opponent's side. They have on top of that, of course, also the blue team has the advantage in kills, has the advantage also in a bit of map control now. The big difference is the push earlier at the top lane with the Dragonite that destroyed the fort of the blue team. That's really the big difference for now. And this is where the red team still shines. In structures, they've done a great job. But if they don't start winning some fights here, then in the long run they're gonna have some serious troubles, and I suppose they know that too. So yeah, right now in the middle, Rega is not falling for that just yet, so they're still all hiding, hoping to get maybe a quick kill as somebody rotates over, but haven't seen that yet. CPX also now up at the top, trying to take over. Dragonite is up in play. Hanzo at the bottom of the map gets killed. This time the red team is finally successful in dropping him. And that was an important one that gives them full control at the bottom of the map. And also access to the fort, which they're immediately attacking too. 14 to 14 now on the kill count. And, well, with the fort destroyed, that's actually pretty... with the fort at the top side destroyed, the one at the bottom taking even more damage. It's a pretty good position to be in too down here. I would have loved to do a bit more on this. And Stukov dies again. June is not having a great game here. He's actually getting wrecked quite a lot. So that is now 6 kills to 2 in favor of the blue team. And they're hoping for more. Muradin jumping in deep. Ult also from Imperius. Another quick play attempt here. Here comes the drag. Double control for the red team, at least on the shrines. But I don't think they can sneak the Dragonite. Tracer still rushing away here from the top lane, but should be able to interrupt this if need be. But Muradin falls. Muradin goes down, so does Imperius. They're really trading blow for blow here. Hit after hit now, as both of the teams are on level 15. We got 7 kills to 3. And this is a wild opening, honestly. It was a really wild opening. And again, just as a side note, Kure is actually not here. Minions are also throwing everything against each other, highly motivated after what they just observed on the other side. So now at the top, Bloodcool is taking over. Still the ability to leverage the Haka throughout the game and try to make your play there. Middle of the map, so far the Dragonite has been avoided yet again. But they are all very aggressively fighting for another chance here to get a DK and push a little bit further forward. And again, for the blue team, it's still vitally crucial that they're starting to take some structures down. They have not destroyed anything yet, and they're in risk of losing the one at the bottom of the map. So that's definitely a problem for them. Arrow! Ah, beautiful connect with 2 here. Nicely done. Can they get a kill? No, Murden is able to jump out, and while waiting for that, they were trying to get Tracer too. Couldn't quite grab her, but the red team is now starting to slowly push forward a bit. Both teams have reached level 16. Gives a lot of synergy for Rhaegar, for example. Or would have, but he went into the healing totem on level 4. My bad. So there's a little bit more heal there. Force of habit. But we definitely now have, for example, with Epicenter, another great tool for Nubarak to engage here. We got the Melting Touch too. So let's see what the red team can do in regards to damage output from here on out. I mean, they should be able to do quite a bit in the next few fights if they coordinate that nicely with all the CC that they're running. Problem is that they're actually losing a couple of heroes here. Junkrat has been destroyed, and Brandon took the opportunity to take control at the bottom of the map. So Madara is starting to suffer a little bit. If you just look at the death count, for example, that's already 3 deaths on June and 2 on Madara here as well. The fight, 5 versus 4, not something that the red team would like to fight. Ultralus has to pop his ult, but even that doesn't help him to survive through this. So he is gone. Big arrow, quick connect. That's potentially the end of Naz. Nah, Naz is able to get out. Is pushing out of the fight. June is on the run. Stukov might not be the fastest, but in this case, he is able to get away. There's still a push at the top with Catapult and Camp, but the Haka is already on its way to take care of it. 9 kills to 3. Murden on the channel, and guess what? CPX is busy in the middle trying to grab the Dragonite. And I don't see anybody, honestly, interrupting him here. So, DK taken. Nicely done. Now the chance to go for a quick hit towards the middle. So the red team really attempting to catch up in structures after they suffered some setbacks in the earlier stages, but this should at least guarantee them the fort in the middle, I'd say. Assuming that the team is committing to it. But yeah, the Dragonite is easily going for it, taking it down, hit by it, and that's gonna be the first fort of the game. Yeah, Dragon's Breath, and that should be enough. And it is. Not. Alright, somebody has to take it, please. Tracer was trying for a second and couldn't. Oh, come on, boys. Somebody. Just an auto attack. Just bump it, or I don't know. Like, spit on it. Whatever you want. Yeah, no. If they lose heroes now, that would be so much worse. And at the bottom of the map, they nearly lost their fort again. God, they must feel bad. They thought they had it, and that fort is still standing. Again, it will be destroyed eventually, obviously, given the situation here. But now they lose Tracer. There's no catapults through the middle that would help them. They lost Hanzo. And all of a sudden, Team Madara turned a defensive position in all-out aggression where they can now go, take the camp at the bottom of the map, drop the fort, and go even further on all of this. So, yep, fantastic move by them. And really nice play. Ultralisk, Bloodcool. They're still sitting here in the middle, as obviously the Haka is hoping that he can just move through, get a final hit in against the fort and drop this one. But yeah, bit of a wild game right now. I mean, the entire time already, if you're honest about it. The push at the bottom of the map, for example, is helping them to take the wall down. So towers are being destroyed here. Top side, that's where we're having Imperius in position, going up against Bloodcool, as already mentioned before. But yeah, that bottom keep is now wide open for potential push later on in the game. And there's only one remaining fort for the blue team, and even that has been exposed as the wall is destroyed and already damaged. So level 20 talents are gonna come in next. 48,000 damage for Junkrat so far. Pretty much on par with Imperius, who as usual is obviously getting good numbers out. Hanzo on the other side with 52,000. He's the top damage dealer in the game. And, well, here's the level 20 talents. Storm talents and an immediate attack. Immediately they want to go for the kill, and the Haka is in trouble. Pops the essence. Might get away here. Nice turn on Madara. Really nice turn. And Madara is gone. Oh, that should not happen. 20 now on both sides available. They get at least a kill against the Haka confirmed, but they need a bit more than that. And the entire red team is already low, so is Muradin, though. He's trying to jump out, gets away. But what about June? Stukov gets stunned out, and Tracer with a quick move takes out Stukov, the man with the big arm, but then gets stunned and dropped as well. 11 kills to 7. Nubarak gets wrecked, and now the fort in the middle will finally be destroyed in a moment. I promise. It's not gonna survive that. They want to get a Dragonite, though. It might actually survive it for now because they want the Dragonite. So yeah, this fort is still standing with 0 hit points, essentially. There should always be a little bit of a slither visible if it's not destroyed in my eyes. But yeah. So at this point, the Dragonite is gonna put the final touches on the fort in the middle. That's gonna be inevitable. And then let's see how much more they can do. The trend goes to the bottom of the map, of course. There's a double camp, by the way, pushing here. So 3 siege giants are still remaining. And Fuzz at the top is getting some company. Should be fine with Rega, even though Blaze is now also moving in. He's, by the way, not the only one. The Haka saying hello, misses the tongue. Bunker already on the ground. Everybody's just YOLOing stuff out now. Arrow has already been used, but the blue team is losing the Haka again. So the Haka is gone. He gets destroyed. Tracer is dealing with the bot lane. The Dragonite is like all lost and is like, what am I gonna do? Took out the bottom fort at least. The problem is that the blue team is losing a lot of their heroes, and since the death timers have been increasing quite significantly throughout the game, that means that there is a lot of time now for the red team to do some serious damage here. There's the Ancestral. Second hit comes in, and Rega survives. That was actually an important one. Good for him to hit that. Could have been a real issue if he dies. The Dragonite completely unmolested. Only a Nubarak at some point finally moved down and tried to deal with him. But that allowed not only the fort to be taken, but also the keep to halfway being destroyed. We're 17.5 minutes into this game, and it's been a banger, honestly. 12 kills to 8, and things are getting wild over here. So this is quite the game that we have, trying to fight for the lead in the series. And I have to stress it again. Red team is playing with the sub. Blue team is playing with the sub here. Brandon gets attacked again. They're trying to free Rega, who does not have the cooldown for the Ancestral. So Rega goes down. No self-Ancestral this time. And they're losing Muradin too. Oh boy, that's bad news. Now 2 heroes down, 5 versus 3 advantage for the red team. And a big opportunity to try and make a couple of moves here towards the middle. Drop another fort, maybe even transition down to the bottom of the map and take the keep. So yeah, this is looking pretty good for now, at least for the red team. Lots of time still. They want the siege giants here. It's a huge wave down at the bottom of the map, thanks to the catapult that is also pushing in with this. But they're cutting the reinforcements off as they're now with the siege giants starting to make their move towards the keep itself. And there's still 25 seconds until Rega is back on the map. So this is bad. This keep is gone. They won't be able to save that keep. There's absolutely no way, especially with the Nubarak spawning a couple of beetles and soaking fort shots or keep shots here too. So the keep's gone. That's the first one destroyed in this game. Whereas the red team still has 1 fort at the top. So they still even have that as a tool that they can use. So pretty dire. Well, it's not really too dire. You have to win a team fight here. Since Team Kure has been able to damage the keep at the bottom of the map, 1 Dragonite, 1 team fight that you win could still give you the game. So that's still all in the cards. It's still something where they could very well be able to win the game and turn it around. But obviously the path through the bottom of the map favors the blue team currently. So yeah, I mean, either way, 22 kills throughout all of this. Hanzo has nearly 100,000 damage by now, is sitting at 96k, whereas Imperius has taken over the top damage on the red team side. Sitting on 70,000, more than Junkrat, for example. So, yeah. And they are, again, trying to trap at the bottom. Idea being, kill the Haka, kill whoever comes to defend, and then make sure that you win the game there. Yeah. Everybody is hearthing back from the blue team, they're trying to save it. Cocoon has been used. Here comes the arrow. Nicely dodged by Ultralisk. And that's the play right there. Job well done. The Haka is gone. And now, of course, the chance to maybe snowball this farther. And that's exactly what they're doing. They take down Muradin, and now the march towards the core. And this is how the play started. I mean, right there, they waited out. Look how he dodges this one. Dodges that perfectly. Junkrat also able to get the mine out, and then they take down first the Haka, then Muradin. Now Hanzo's dead, and that is of course going to end with game number 1 going over to the red team. Really nice moves towards the end of the game in particular. Great kills. And a well-deserved victory on the first map of the best of 3 series here at the Captain's Clash. Nicely done, and we're heading straight towards game number 2. GG, well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, Infernal Shrines. Madara's team has taken the lead, and now, of course, the question if Team Kure is able to bring this back. Now, sad news, Kure actually still a no-show, so he's not here yet. Still don't know what exactly is going on here, but again, very likely that he is asleep. So he is just channeling his inner Nano, apparently. So my F gets banned out, but I kind of want to see what exactly the blue team can now do. To be honest, I was actually pretty impressed, considering that they literally just had to find a sub on the last moment. Barely had time to get him on Discord to have at least some voice communication, and then perform this well. That's actually pretty strong. So can they now come in here and try and win this one, force game number 3, or is Team Madara properly warmed up, just like, alright, we got this figured out now? We'll see. For now, Vala gets banned out here in Infernal Shrines. We got Lucio banned, Mephisto, so a lot of, I mean, again, a lot of the AoE is banned out. Even without Kure on the team, we still have Maiev taken away, and here comes Blaze again as a first pick. So we already saw this in game number 1. In case this wasn't clear yet, by the way, draft restrictions, there are none here. So just full-on standard vanilla, and Blaze therefore again as a super early pick, as you would expect. So yeah, Blaze taken right away. And let's see what Team Kure has up their sleeves this time. They go for Johanna for all of the AoE on the shrine and the control that she gives, and then Hanzo gets locked in very quickly by Fuzz again, already played it before. And yeah, now that's 2. We got Falster, we got Brightwing, so already a fair amount of global pressure once again. Ultralisk, the one who might actually play Falster here, and June finds himself on Brightwing now. So for Infernal, a lot of potential plays toward the top lane with that. AoE damage, I'm a bit curious what we're getting as the main tank for Team Madara now. Keep in mind, Diablo was banned, I believe, by Team Madara earlier, right? Yeah. And there's the Junkrat ban. So, they still got everything to pick from. There's not a single tank that has been banned. Whatever they want to play, red team that is, they will be able to pull that off. So, I don't really think that we're going to see Johanna on the side lane and then, you know, another main deck. We have seen that before. You can play Johanna as a side laner. I actually like it a lot. I think it's really cool and just breaks the meta a bit every now and then. But it is very, very rare that we see it. It is possible, though. Anyways, the Haka gets banned out, so they're already eliminating another global to the opponent, just basically saying, hey, we're playing the macro game. You're not going to do that. We're going to take the macro here. And good luck trying to catch up with us. There's a few heroes that could still play and trying to mitigate that a little bit, but nothing that would be right down the meta line. But what is CPX, for example, they're going to play now? Hogger, Sylvanas. Okay, so we got Hogger for all the pong on the ping on the Infernal Shrines objective, with Johanna assisting. Sylvanas, if they ever get a Punisher, Sylvanas is definitely going to help with that. Main tank for Team Madara. What's it going to be? Caesar, Salad, and Madara are the only ones that haven't picked yet. They still need some additional damage. And of course, the main tank to bully people around a little bit more. OG bully would be Diablo, but there's still plenty to pick from. And they go for Diablo. Okay, Diablo is in, and we get Chromie. Nice. Yeah, job well done. Chromie for the poke from afar, Diablo for all the stuns and the walls around the shrines, and now it's a pretty decent draft for them. And now Valamar as the final pick of the team. What are we getting? We still need a support, obviously, is the only thing that they're missing. You need some sustain. And it's Malfurion, okay, it's the old geezer with the green beard. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 2, Team Madara going up against Team Kure. Game number 2. Team Madara on the left, once again in blue, with Brandon on Johanna this time. We got Fuzz on Hanzo, Valama on Malfurion, CPX is playing Sylvanas, Bloodcool on Hoga, and then over on the right side with the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series, we have Ultralisk on Falstad, Madara is currently playing Chromie, we got June on Brightwing, Caesar Salad on Diablo, and Naz is playing Blaze. So, let the show begin. Red team is currently spreading out, fully anticipating that there's going to be a tower push from Sylvanas, but that actually has already been thwarted more or less. They got the scout out from Chromie with her level 1, saw that Sylvanas is in the middle, no problem for them therefore, so they can play this a little bit slow, but yeah. Initially spreading out makes perfect sense. Again, if you don't do it against Sylvanas and she's just pushing in for a tower, they can usually drop it to half HP. If you're really slow, they can take it down completely. So yeah, there is that. But then, either way, down at the bottom of the map, the next little move, but Diablo and Madara are already there. Madara is actually pretty terrifying on Chromie, so when it comes to Chromie play, this should be pretty darn good. And I really want to see how they are able to leverage the 2 globals that they're running here. The idea clearly being that they want to have a chance to dominate the global play a little bit and out-macro the opponent, so if they're able to pull it off here, that would be pretty sweet to see. So, time will tell. Madara currently already working on the camp. Blue team has not sniffed that out, or they would have immediately invaded it. But they are more interested in the neutral one down at the bottom of the map. Once that you claim this camp here, it essentially guarantees that you're going to get 2. You can then move over towards your own camp on the left side and try and grab that. So yeah, that shouldn't really be too problematic for them now. But the red team at least gets 1. Blaze is already sitting over at the side on his pleb horse. And yeah, Madara gets killed. Chromie is dead.
Bye-bye.
Exactly. So, Chromie is gone. She's eliminated. First blood in the game. Just as I praised Madara a second ago and was like, he's a really strong Chromie. He's pretty good at this. And then a second later, he's just dead. So, typical caster, curse connected hard. It's always the truth. Who do we praise next? Who do I like? Who has not subbed to the channel? Let's think about it. You know this Fuzz guy? He's an absolutely amazing Hanzo player. He's incredible. Would have been actually funny, you know, if a second later then he dies. That would have been pretty amazing. But yeah, I don't think the caster curse is that strong. Anyways, top side, Falstad. Still holding his own here, of course. He actually rotated someone over to try and help out, but yep, no, gain nothing of that. Camps are up, and with the first objective spawning now at the bottom of the map, I like that we're seeing both teams fight straight for the Shaman camp, so that they can set it en route once that the fight over the objective breaks out. So it's going to be the first one for them. Chromie a little bit safer right now, hugging the gate essentially. But they're actually going towards the top. Seems like they're trying to push with this. Falstad as a global is playing it mega safe right now. They're trying to play with vision and only show him 1 hero. So he's not... Oh, that was a nice stun, but Ultralisk is still able to get out. So they got a full 4-man now at the top of the map. The whole idea being to do as much damage as they can and just letting the objective go. Blaze is taking over there, but the defense is ready, so they were more or less expecting this. Ultralisk, yeah, June helping out with Brightwing. And they are defending this. So they didn't even lose the wall. Good for them. Only a small lead on the shrine. But small lead regardless. So now that Johanna is trying to deal with this a little bit, they might be able to catch some. But with Blaze just being superior hero when it comes to just taking shrine minions down, they are having a mad lead now. So they're sitting way above what we're seeing from the blue team. Hitting 31 at this point. Both teams on level 7 talents, of course, but this is still a fantastic spot for the red team to get themselves the first Punisher of the game. Falstad and Hoga still up at the top. Falstad could fly down to make this a 5 versus 4 if he really wanted to. So far, no need for that. But there's the Punisher. Mortar Punisher as the first one of the game. And they're getting a kill on Sylvanas. So Sylvanas is also eliminated, and just in time for this push at the bot lane. Bit of vision granted by Chromie to just make sure that they know exactly what's going on behind that wall. And so far, so good. I mean, right now they're actually looking very strong when it comes to that bot lane push, and might be able to do a significant amount of damage to the fort itself. Play split towards the middle, Falstad back at the top, so not that much. The wall is down, they got some damage on the fort. If they would have fully committed here, they would have been able to do a lot more, of course, but this way they were soaking 3 lanes at the same time. And Falstad is actually getting some value at the top now, too. Gets the minions in first to soak up some of the shots and takes another tower out. As at least about to. Hogga's coming in just a bit too late in order to do something about it. Kill versus kill. So far in the game overall. Hogga is just going full mad here. On the prowl, Hogga's jogger, seeing red. So, yep, full synergy for him. Falstad. I mean, Ultralisk on Falstad is actually really interesting too, because he's been playing the hero obviously a lot in the past as well, and he loves to go for aggressive moves like this one. But just generally, he is playing this super smart. Has a great solo kill that he got against Sylvanas here. So extremely well done. But if you just watch him on the minimap a little bit, you will see that when he doesn't know where everybody is, when he doesn't have vision, he's always just hugging the gate, hugging the towers, just staying away from any kind of lane where he could get attacked from by multiple heroes. So he's been playing a great game here, and solo kills like the one we just saw against Sylvanas are of course underlying this even further. That's easy damage against the fort at the top lane that they get now in, get it down to 50% of its HP, as both teams are finally locking in their level 10 abilities. So blue team has caught up, and Falstad, easy gust, making sure that they can disengage from this. Rotation came in. Chromie, she has a lot of space and time now at the bottom of the map, has escorted minions through, and is now able to easily do some extra damage on that fort as well. So really smart. Actually, very, very smart ones that they have. And yeah, very smart rotations that they have here. And that was pretty neat. Getting damage done at the top, dealing with the rotation, creating an opportunity at the bottom of the map, and then doing the same thing here. So, yeah, job well done. But let's see how the next objective is also panning out. Oh, and can they save Hanzo? And the answer is yes, they can. Shockwave! Ooh, and a nice hit. Brightwing had to reposition to get out of that death zone. That could have become a problem. But Brightwing, the bad news, is still alive. 2 kills to 1. Diablo nearly stacked, and Falstad is still at the top again. As long as they can keep him on the side lane, he's also going to give them additional experience, which is quite nice for them. We have the next objective spawning in the middle of the map right now, so another shrine is already popping up. A little bit of a pog at the top, as they are hoping for another shaman camp. And yeah, they can also transition if they want with Falstad back down to the bottom of the map. I mean, you can stay topside of course too. But the whole idea of them getting a lead in experience has so far been thwarted by really speed rotations from the blue team. But generally speaking, the red team is pulling a little bit ahead in structural damage. They haven't taken the fort down yet, but they damaged 2 severely. So they're looking pretty alright on that account. And the story continues. I mean, currently the play for the next objective, this time the blue team taking a bit of a lead here. The question is just simply, can they hold that spot? And here comes the next stun attempt. So far, not happening. Ult from Chromie. Trying to go for Jojo here. Hogga is pogging in. Is that the kill against Brandon? No, but Falstad falls. And look at that backline. Double kill against Chromie and against Brightwing now. Really good hits from the blue team. And it allows them to take 3 kills in total. They wanted to go for Diablo 2. And you know what? They barely miss out on that kill. But the whole party here and the comeback from the team started with that little move. Watch that backline. Yeah, there's the stun and bam! Really well done by Hanzo, initiating the attack with an arrow, and then the follow-up was just glorious. So now they have the Arcane Punisher. Blaze is eliminated at the top, and now they can push through the middle and try and take a fort out with the help of Sylvanas, of course, too. Hanzo killed by Ultralisk up at the top. So Falstad able to fly in and get a counter kill. Yeah, maybe they were a bit too greedy there, but it doesn't change the fact that in the middle, this should hurt now. This should definitely hurt them here and out. So, let's see. Actually, they're not really pushing with anything. They are attacking the top though, so while in the middle the defense is still fine, this is a little bit of a different story. This is free damage for Hogga. Ultralisk deals with it, but still has to accept that they're losing half of the hit points here. So the blue team is by now busy on a few more mercenary camps, has already moved back down to the bottom of the map to try and attack here. So it's making their next move as well. Yeah, Brandon is getting attacked now too. But they are still able to save all of that. So the red team definitely suffering a bit of a setback after they lose 3 heroes, lose a lot of the map control that they were holding previously. But now they are at least in a spot, you know, where they could make a couple of moves to stabilize in the game again. They have a 1 level disadvantage when we're talking about just experience in general. That's a problem with level 16 talents that of course will bring an extra talent. Yeah, with level 16 it's going to give the extra talent to them. So something that they have to deal with somehow. Falstad at the top this time gets destroyed down here in the middle. They're missing out on a kill against Johanna. And at the bottom they pushed out a bit too. 6 kills to 3 overall now. And yeah, 18,000 damage for Falstad, the top damage for them. If you compare that to the damage numbers that we're getting from Holga, from Sylvanas, from Hanzo, they are trailing a little bit. Chromie and Falstad top damage dealers. They can't really compete with the opponent's team. Now from Hanzo you get a lot of poke damage of course. So that's another one there too. But overall, pretty interesting situation that we're now getting. Yeah, quick attack now coming in once again through the middle. And this time they're finishing the job they started earlier. So they are able to take down the fort. They have the level 16 talent advantage of course as well now, which is going to make things a lot easier for them too, and means the red team just has to catch up in XP. Like no other choice in that situation. You have to make sure that you catch up, get your own level 16 talent before you take a fight. Unless somebody on the blue team is really going for very dumb rotation and walks straight into a couple of heroes. And obviously feel free to just go ham. Quick arrow, shockwave, but Gust and Bunker out. The problem is that he gets rooted into the ground too. And play. He's still gonna fall. Nicely done. Another kill for them. Blaze is gone. Kill number 7. The blue team. Team Kure with a kill on Blaze and Chromie. And they are able to take another fort. Guys, they have learned from game number 1. They were so close in the first game already to take a victory. But now they are definitely in the driver's seat on the second map here on Infernal Shrines. So that means for Team Madara, they gotta buckle up a little bit, because you don't want to lose against... Again, the captain is missing. It's not only that they have a sub-player, their captain is missing. Kure is not here, and they are still able, with their sub, to do an absolute fantastic job, and are clearly hoping to force a game number 3 in this one. And are getting closer and closer to making exactly that happen too. They have the lead in kills already, they're 1.5 levels ahead now. So... depending on the next objective, this could go south very quickly for Team Madara. Because we already have an advantage. This is pretty much the only fight that Team Madara is going to get on even talents now in the foreseeable future. If they lose this one, 20 will hit so much faster for the blue team. And then they're just going to run a game where they use the objective, claim the next one probably. Like, this is a pretty decisive spot now for the red team. They got to do something here. Yeah, there's already Falstad coming into 32 stacks against 7. That's a bit of a problem as is already. Falstad trying to get the kill, gets stunned out and gets murdered. Wanted to take Sylvanas out instead. The communication on the blue team is top notch. They turn it quickly on him. The birdie is gone. Back in the KFC basket. Chicken for dinner, my friends. And now with 9 kills to 3 and a frozen Punisher that they just locked in, they also get a kill on Diablo. Diablo eliminated. Push to the middle. It's going to be an easy fort there. And they're going to get way farther than that. And as I said before, the big problem is, with this fight going the way of the blue team, they now have a 2-level advantage. They are guaranteed to get level 20 before the opponent does. And if you're the red team, you are now in deep trouble. Because what are you going to do? Fight against level 20 talents? Yeah, let's see how that's going to go for you. Probably not all that well. So, yeah, it's a dicey spot to be in for the red team. They need a bit of a miracle in order to make this work. Caesar Salad gets caught here immediately. Killed again. Diablo's down. Again, they have the level 20 already for this push. Punisher is still there. Ultralis gets sucked in by another Condemn and goes down to... This is the beginning of the end. They lose Hogger. Pogged a little bit too hard here. But the keep at the bottom has already fallen and they're not really going to stop. They're going to try and make their play now for the next structure. They're going to try and move in for the core itself and force game number 3 out of this. And honestly, it looks very much like this is exactly what we're going to see here. I would be a bit surprised if they could turn it. Maybe they can't end the game right now, It's a 4 versus 3. Maybe they can still defend. I mean, it's gonna be a stretch, but still possible, I suppose. If we lose more heroes, then it's definitely not the case. But Diablo is back in a second. Falstad on... it's not looking good, no. 20% on the core. We're going to game 3. That's a win. Team Kure takes the victory on the second map of the best of 3 series. GG. Well, we're going to game number 3 now, Towers of Doom, and good news or bad news, it depends. Kure is finally here, so apparently Kure woke up and he is now with the team. So CPX, first of all, round of applause for him. Big cheer, nicely done my friend. Subbing in on the blue team side and then immediately performing so that they could go to the third map is big. So, yep, that was nicely done, especially the second map, obviously. Very well played. Now that we're on Towers of Doom, though, Kure is playing with the team, and obviously he didn't really have any time to warm up, right? So is that a situation where you would normally prefer to play with CPX and say like, hey, we're flowing right now, it's working, let's just play this out? Or do you sub in Kure, who obviously just on a pure skill level is the better player, but is also not warmed up and has probably just crawled out of bed? So it's an interesting one. Towers of Doom. I mean, at this point, if now the blue team loses, then we can blame it all on Kure. I suppose that's actually fair. It will be interesting how he's going to do here now. But it's good that they have their captain back, obviously. So, yeah. Not too shabby. Diablo banned out, Jojo banned out. We get Brightwing eliminated too. Could also get rid of some of the globals if you really wanted to. I mean, the Haka obviously a huge favorite in Towers of Doom. If Madara's team is going for a quick pick again, then they could go for Blaze once more. So that's another opportunity there too, which might be taken by Team Kure to just ban him out and just say like, yeah, well, we don't care, we don't give it to you. So let's see. And there it is. Blaze gets banned. So they are getting rid of Blaze after he has been first picked twice on the side of Team Madara. Now, the question is, of course, is that giving us an automatic Dehaka pick? Are you going into something completely different here? Haven't seen Leo today yet. There's still Urel that could be up for grabs at some point. Hogger on the side lane, of course. Also another choice that is possible. But we're getting Lucio first. Speeding up a bit as you're roaming through a big map. Always helpful. Always useful here. And yeah, on the left side, the blue team, for now, with their first double pick. And let's see what we're going to get for Team Kure. We have Junkrat. So no super early Hanzo pick for them this time. And together with Junkrat, we get Hogger. So there's our top laner already established for them. Makes it much, much easier for them to also grab the top side pumpkins. When it comes to globals, I mean, again, you could have still gone Dehaka here. If they wanted to, they could have gone Dehaka. Hanzo, and there's Dehaka. Okay. Yeah, with Blaze banned, Hogger taken, makes sense. Towers of Doom, he's super good here. I mean, I would have loved the Vikings, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that we're going to get that. So yeah, no Viking shenanigans for this game, or any of these games just yet. Which is a little bit of a shame, but the tournament has just begun. This is literally the first series. So we'll see if at some point we're going to see some of these off picks. Maybe they have some secret strategies prepared that they're going to use later on. Ban Hammer against Ultralisk, I guess. There's always a chance that he gives Hanzo up and heads it over to Madara. Madara plays a pretty mean Hanzo as well. So, yep, you could definitely do that. Pick Sergeant Hammer, give Hanzo to Madara, and then let Ultralisk play the tank. So, denied. Not going to happen here. It brings us to a Falstad ban. So yeah, they're getting rid of the globals. So they're getting rid of some of the global action that we're getting from Team Madara. No counterplay against the... Well, no counterplay against the Haka in that sense. I'm still having my eye on Kure here. Are we going to get some Maiev? Are we going to get Tracer? Haven't seen Genji today either. Here comes a Nubarak, and we get Malfurion. So, engage with Nubarak. Malfurion to quickly come in and drop the roots. Junkrat with a couple of traps that he can supply. And then we need an additional damage dealer from Kure. So he's going to be the X-Factor pick towards the end. He could go with a triple front line and try and get Maiev here as well. Don't necessarily think that's what we're going to see. But on the red team side, we're getting Genji, finally, and we get Muradin. So, yeah, Muradin, pretty easy to hop around here too. Hits a couple of Storm Balls, tee the Haka up, do the same for Genji, and with the Shimada brothers in tandem, you can do a lot here. But I want to see what Kure does. He's been missing for 2 games. Now he has to perform. He has a lot to make up for. So, his final pick for our final map, Towers of Doom. Again, we're in a round robin phase in those 2 groups that we have right now. And the pick is Tracer. Alrighty, so Towers of Doom, map number 3. Let's go. Game number 3, the final map, ladies and gentlemen. And well, let's go. Kure is back to business. So for the 3rd map, he woke up. And now he has to prove that his team can win with him. And that all the work that CPX did to get them to the 3rd map was not in vain. Brandon on Anubarak for the blue team. We got Valamar on Malfurion. Fuzz on Junkrat. Kure on Tracer. And Bloodcool is playing Hogger. Caesar Salad in the meantime on Muradin. Going on level 1 straight up into 3rd win. We got Ultralisk on Genji. Swapping Hanzo as already more or less expected over to Madara. June is going to be happy that he got himself Lucio as a pick. And then we got Naz on Dehaka. Well, off to the races. The comeback of the blue team is happening. Maybe. Potentially. This is really the moment where Kure just has to show up. I mean, I'm serious. No pressure, right? But think about it. You're actually oversleeping, apparently, or whatever happened there. And you arrive late. Your team is able to bring it to the 3rd map without you. And if you now come in and then you lose, maybe you're the one, you know, that dies the most or something like that. That must feel bad. Now, we're obviously nowhere near a situation like this yet. But there is definitely some pressure on Kure to properly perform here in this situation now. So his Tracer performance, we'll see what he can do. I mean, again, we all know how strong he is. We are also on the NA server, so that makes things a little bit easier for him, as usually in most of the tournaments that he participates when he plays cross-server with the Europeans. But right now we have just the typical early game rotations, attempting to get a kill if somebody is not properly paying attention, for example, and see if you can just sneak in and get a quick hit. So far that wasn't really the case, but an attempted invade. They didn't go for their own camp. Instead they are trying to take the camp from the blue team away. That backfired a bit. So now there's at least some time that was lost. Good for Team Kure. Genji is also jumping towards the top lane, as you would expect from him, not only to secure Dehaka's grab of the camp. So now each team is going to get a pumpkin camp here, but also to potentially apply some pressure to the side laner of the blue team to help Dehaka out. But here they're still delaying, and Dehaka is now coming in. So is also Genji. So they're also starting to fully commit to this. Everybody is starting to move in. They're trying to go for Nubarak here for just a second. Brandon is low and has to retreat. Bloodcool hasn't given up on it yet, but he's gonna be the first one to fall. Yep, that's the end of Hogger. Hogger destroyed, and that backfired hard. Not only did they not get the camp, but they also, on top of that, then lost one of their players. So, first blood for Team Madara. Job well done. But yeah, in the meantime, we're having in the middle of the map, next little attack here coming against Caesar Salad. Again, it's just like a little bit of needling and poking from Kure. Just trying to see what exactly they can do with Tracer, soften them up a little bit, hope for the kill later. And, well, there we are. Already trying to play that out a little bit, forcing Genji into protection here. And the next play is from the red team, an attempt to go for Brandon and try and take an Ubarak out again. But, yeah, 1 kill only so far. And there's the triple auto phase. So, now the chance to try and get at least a bit of a lead on this. Who's gonna take the first one? Who's gonna get the 2-for-1 trade? Top side is, as usual, just an exchange. And now, another kill! Malfurion is gone. Malfurion is dead, 2 kills to 0. Dehaka gets pooped away, so they're creating a little bit of space. But with the healer gone, that means you have no sustain. And that should be an easy channel for the red team, and it is a 2 versus 1 order situation in favor of Team Madara. So they get a few more shots fired in that spot, and yeah, not too shabby. Next little attack against Kure. Oh, careful, my friend. Lucio was thinking about grabbing it. Genji is coming in and barely misses out on the kill, but that was a close one. Kure nearly died here. He barely made it past the wall and survived. But that could have been a disaster for him. So, yeah, 36 to 32 points on the core now. We got the Haka still up at the top. The global, obviously, immensely helpful when you're trying to global in from the top. Yeah, Skullcracker for Muradin, always nice, especially when you're playing against Tracer. Those mini stuns can absolutely ruin an opponent's life very, very easily when they hit at the wrong moment in time. But at least even talents for both of them, roughly the same experience. But a lot on the line here now. If you're starting with a loss into your round robin match, then yeah. It's kind of important that you try and get as much done here as you possibly can. Getting that one map win was already fairly important, but again, you want the series, of course. So level 10 is going to be up next. We got the augmented guard for Genji, Skullcracker, we talked about it, reverse amp for Lucio, and now with the double altar at top left, top right. It's going to be an easy exchange between them. Hanzo gets himself killed. So some signs of life from the blue team. Those were important. So Kure comes in and is able, with the help of Junkrat, to get the kill. That was a fairly important one. I mean, in that situation, you want to make sure that you can get at least one here. So they were able to pull it off, get the kill on that. Now even a bit of a play made for the next camp, and that one is successfully stolen. So Pumpkins on the lane, stealing them away from your opponent and prepping everything also for the altar phase. It's still the exchange. I mean, again, even with the hero kill, you won't be able to go to the top right and steal it away from your opponent. It's just a bit too tricky. But the one thing that definitely changes now, the experience on both sides. So now we have the blue team in a significant lead, which is going to allow them to grab an early level 10. Question is always, can they leverage this properly and get something done with it? It's not the biggest window in the world. The red team is going to catch up quickly. But if you can get a quick hit in against somebody, that would of course be fairly nice. Force a fight with Cocoon, for example. Nothing that really presents itself here, so they only apply a bit of pressure in the middle to take a tower and a gate out. But they're still on the lookout for a fight that they could force here. Brandon is moving in, and you have to be careful of this Cocoon if you're playing for Team Madara now. But there's level 10, and we get... For a second I thought we got Haymaker, but nah. No Haymaker here. So what we're getting instead is, again, Avatar, full sustain. Get Hanzo with his arrow. No surprises really on the heroic abilities. I mean, again, maybe noteworthy that Genji went into... did not go into X-Strike, but went into Dragon Blade. A bit old school here. It's kind of weird to say that's old school, but yeah, like back in the HGC days, obviously, there was basically, for a long time, only Dragon Blade that you would take, oftentimes with Usa to get a Divine Shield Dragon Blade out and allow Genji just to reign supreme for a short duration. Nice arrow against Tracer and the follow-up from the Haka, but Tracer actually survives, so that's a couple of cooldowns burned by the red team that didn't really net them anything. So 2 kills to 1 still, not that we're at the 7-minute mark, but we have a single altar up at the bottom of the map. The two teams are going to be trying to fight for. Double stun, and Hanzo is gone! Nice! Very cool move by Hogger. Beautiful stun by him, and that's the end of Hanzo, and all of a sudden it's 2 kills to 2, and even more momentum for the blue team, who have already started to take a bit of an upper hand here. Nicely done. So the shots are fired. I mean, again, single altar, so not that big of a deal. Just puts them both on 28 points on the core. But moves like this, exactly what you need right now. And they're doing it again! They're killing Genji this time! They get a quick stun connection off against Genji, and then he is immediately murdered, which allows them to go for the camp again. Get more experience, more pressure at the bottom of the map. So these are exactly the decisive situations and moves that need to be made if you want to decide the series in your favor. And of course, since there's this many pumpkins right now, you can definitely try and take that bottom bell tower. If you are not able to convert it over, you're going to severely damage it at least. And yep, that's what we're getting. So bell tower is taken. Try and make a move for Muradin currently. He's going to be the next one on the list. But, ooh, the Haka. The beautiful Tong is able to get the kill on Junkrat. Hanzo misses the arrow, so they can't get an easy second kill. They're still trying to follow up with another one. Might even be able to get it. Oh my god, Muradin! Kure was nearly able to take Caesar Salad out. Hasn't even given up on it yet, and drops him. Question is just, can he get away? And I don't... Oh, can he? I don't think so. Nah. That's the end of him. But a really nice commitment to get Muradin. He obviously knew that when he was going this deep that he very likely wouldn't make it out. Was still willing to take the trade and potentially gamble that he might get away with it after all. But as everything is said and done, we have just kills exchanged between the two teams. Bottom bell tower is converted back over. And now we got a 4 versus 4 situation back up on the map. Still that half-level lead for the blue team, though, in experience. So this is still the advantage that they are currently running in this game. That half-level advantage that they've now had for quite some time here. But yeah, the attacks are still coming towards the middle and the bot lane now that the altars are active. So we're going to see another team fight break out in just a moment. Maybe a poke at the bottom of the map in a 1-on-1 situation, but it seems like the 5 versus 5 is what they're both focusing on at this point. And that is maybe a kill. Mirror is in trouble. Gets Avatar out just in time. Yeah, still low, but he gets out. That was clutch though. Mirrodin nearly died. If he didn't get Avatar, the cooldown, he would not have survived through this. They're giving up on the channel of the altar in the middle. So those shots are already fired. Down at the bottom of the map, the red team might still be willing to fight for it. So, yeah, here they're sitting tight. Trying to make a move. Careful, Fuzz, alright. Yeah, everybody is just poking once again. Also from a distance here. Genji, protected. Has to be careful too. Mirrodin doesn't have Avatar anymore, so he needs to be mega cautious right now. Can't really afford to take too much damage or he's gonna be targeted very quickly and potentially die. The Haka is in the middle. Hoping to push another wave, but they're actually just delaying at the bottom of the map now. The Haka is always able to get back in, so the longer the Haka is able to rotate between the mid and the top lane currently and get them additional experience, the better. And once that the fight is really happening and everybody is fully committing, he can tunnel down and just do his thing. So 16 talents are coming up next. Currently we're 35,000 damage for Hanzo. And on top of that, 28,000 for Junkrat on the other side. A channel from Fuzz. Is he actually going to get it? The Haka is pushing the top side forward, and yep, he gets it. Top side is being attacked. Wow, 4-man connect. Genji gets cocooned. Might have actually died here if not for that cocoon. And makes it out. Okay, that was a bit unlucky. The idea to cocoon Genji, not a bad one, but then he lost hit points so quickly that if not for that ult, he would have died. Ultralisk is able to get out. Bit of damage at the top side, bell tower. But then again, in this situation at least, we're now having the altar channeled by the blue team. They are about to hit level 16. The red team already has it, so they reverted the situation and experience. But that's another steal. That's the 3rd steal on that camp. 3 times that they are taking that camp away. So 16 versus 16 now. And the push for the bed and bell tower again. Couple of the pumpkins make it through, so they get it a bit low, but the Haka is just consistently pushing for the top here. Forcing Hogger, of course, to respond. When it comes to points on the core, on the other hand, it's 20 against 28. I mean, always recoverable if you're playing on this map. For a moment I thought they would dive super deep for Valamar. But yeah, no, not quite. They were thinking about it, but at some point, there's such a thing as overextending a little bit too hard. And then just getting absolutely murdered for it. So probably the better choice to just play this a little bit safer and decide to fall back. Hogger is taking another camp at the top. Triple altar phase now. And this one is going to be fairly important. We don't have an advantage in bell towers for any of them. But yeah, still the big question, at least for me, who is going to get the 2 out of the 3. Mirrodin. Caesar Salad again eats damage, but he has the cooldown now also ready for Avatar whenever he really needs it. Top left, top right, seems like we're just gonna go for the traditional exchange. Nobody's interrupting Hogger, nobody's trying to do anything. The Haka is now making the same move, so it's all gonna center around the fight at the bottom of the map again. And the Haka will be a little bit faster if they really wanna try and commit to this. Nice pressure on June. Gets into the roots, that's the problem, and June is... I mean, he needs to die here. They need to try and take him down now. June is low. They find him. And is he able to get away? No, he's not. The healer is gone. And that should seal the fate of that bottom altar. This should be the end of that fight. So, yeah. Nicely done. June dove in to help out. Got caught by the root. Shots are fired now as a result of him dying. And that's 5 kills to 4. 24 points on the core against 12. So they're doubling it and they're taking control. Taking full map control at this point with the bell tower converted at the bottom of the map. More camps taken. Let's take a quick look at experience, actually. Look at the mercenary experience. 1,200 against 180. That's kind of bonkers, honestly, when you think about it. Initially, we had a few camps taken by the red team, and ever since then, it was just the blue team taking one after another and even stealing the red team's camp away time and time again. So, yeah, Muradin goes down. They're starting to lose full control here. There's pumpkins traveling through the bot lane now. I think it's only a matter of time until we see the red team slide into the single digits on the core. More, again, pumpkins, obviously. But the 1 level advantage, the early level 20 that they might get through that, and the spot that they're in right now, this is great news for Kure's team. The captain has made it back into the game. But, yeah, woke up from his slumber. I really like what the red team is doing. Grabbing the boss real quickly makes sense for them. They need to remove it as a tool from the opponent. Drops them a little bit lower. They don't really lose anything to it. I guess what they are losing is the opportunity to try and push for the bottom bell tower to recover that. But it was important to take that away from your opponent. So that was a fairly important move to make. And now Kure again. Also just sitting tight here at the bot lane. Wants to poke themselves just a little bit. They obviously are trying to hold on to that bell tower as best as they can too. They don't want to lose that in such a crucial moment now, because there's an easy extra point. Madara is channeling through. That's 5 shots fired, and as predicted, that's going to be single digits on the core of the red team. They're going to be down to 7 here. And another bell tower is now about to be taken. With level 20 talents in the hands of Team Kure, very little, honestly, that the red team can do about this. So they're falling farther and farther behind. The question just simply is, can they go for the full barrage? I would assume not. Bit doubtful on that. I don't really see that happening, at least. There's always got to be a trade where the red team just says, okay, if you're going for another altar conversion, sorry, for another bell tower conversion, then we're just going to try and go on the other side of the map onto another lane and retake and wait for level 20. Because that's clearly what they're doing. They're hoping for level 20. They need their Storm Talents. Now they got them. So, yeah, Storm Talents are in. And that is the moment where you can technically try and fight back. If they find an opening here. Next altar is going to be a single altar at the bottom of the map. So, definitely something that you can win and when you could start to make your comeback. If they can get to that spot. But, yeah. I mean, right now, the red team... I mean, as I said before, they still have all the chances here to try and bring this back. It's just not going to be easy for them. The main question for me personally is, can they win the next team fight? Because that's absolutely crucial. And that's a good start. Nice stun against Malfurion. And that's a kill. Great hit. Malfurion down. That's absolutely perfect. This is exactly what they needed here. But then they lose. Oh, well, Hogger gets killed. Lucio is also dead. It's getting a little bit dicey here. Big back and forth between the two. But the pumpkins make it through. At least a few of them. Muradin is trying to prevent at least some of them to make it out. The Haka is now at the bottom of the map preventing the channel. They're down to 6 points. So if those 5 hit, that would obviously be a bit of a disaster. Not really something that you just want to give up without fighting for it whatsoever. But times are tough for them here. Because they only have... well, it's a 4 versus 3. Blue team cannot channel this as easily as they thought. Kure is low, gets the kill. And gets out. You got to be kidding me. Kure with a big play. They lose Junker a moment later, but Kure comes in again, kills Muradin. He's definitely on a quest to redeem himself for oversleeping and not joining the game earlier. I mean, clearly. Damn, he is on a hunt. And they're cleaning house. Look at this. 5-man team wipe. As they're absolutely crushing that. And I guess they want to get more out of that situation. Want to at least take the camp. They can let somebody else channel. But those were some big plays from Kure here. So, extremely well done by him. Great job. Now, channel down at the bottom of the map. Still a couple of additional plays being made as we're seeing the shots fired. That leaves him with one single spot. Pumpkin camp is, of course, now coming in. That's how they're going to try and end it. But yeah, Kure with some absolutely murder moves in those last seconds. But yeah, they know they can't do anything. It's only June that's alive. Shots are fired. That is game. And Team Kure wins the series with a 2-1 over Team Madara. GG.